Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, to Carpool Chit Chat. Today is Wednesday, and I'm talking about last night's. I don't know how many of you guys watch The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, but last night's season finale of The Bachelor was crazy. I literally feel like I have so much to say, but I don't want this video to be 100 years long. BARB is crazy. Let's start there. I feel like I kind of, oh shoot, that for sure cracked my screen, I think. Hold on. Okay, I just turned. This will be my last turn until I get home, so you're slipping now. Híjoles, the sun, now that the time change happened, the sun is gonna be way too bright. Okay, that's fine, right? You can see me. Okay, last night was a season finale of The Bachelor, right? And I'm gonna be straight up. Since the beginning, I was team Madison. I feel like they had the most genuine and real relationship out of everybody. I feel like they just clicked. They naturally just clicked. And I'm sure we have to remember again that this is reality TV. So all the producers are trying to start drama, and they're just trying to get tea. They're just trying to start drama. They're just trying to make the show good, right? So I think besides all of that, Madison and Peter actually had a real connection. I feel like Hannah Ann, it's not that I didn't like Hannah Ann. I feel like she just was to me. She wasn't she didn't stand out for me. I feel like she's pretty, she's cute, she's really soft-spoken, and she's cute. Ay, ay, ay. Híjoles. How am I gonna do this? Where, I need to put something in the front so it doesn't fall. If I tilt it a little bit more. Híjoles, what was I saying? Hannah Ann is cute. I feel like she's really cute. She's really, confident and, soft-spoken. I don't know. I feel like she wasn't really deep. I feel like the relationship was very it was more infatuation. Oh my god, that truck totally cut that guy off really badly. I feel like the relationship was more infatuation than love. So I can see how Peter can get caught up in this whole show thing and falling in love and all of that, but honestly, you guys have to remember, or I have to remind myself that they filmed the show in 3 months, okay? So he's not falling in love with somebody in over a year. It's 3 months. And at the end, he's supposed to propose. Ay, ay, ay. And at the end, he's supposed to propose to somebody in 3 months? What the? That's that's crazy. Okay, that already kind of makes the relationship hard, because I don't think I'd be ready to get married in 3 months, especially competing with a lot of girls, whatever. So yeah, I was definitely team Madison since the beginning. Hannah Ann was cute, wasn't the biggest fan. But BARB, oh wait, before I go into BARB, because that's gonna take up a lot of my time, I feel like Peter knew he loved Madison. I feel like Peter knew for a while I'm gonna pick Madison. But again, Madison wasn't really telling Peter hey, I love you, I'm in love with you, until kind of the last couple weeks, or the end of the show, which I can see how Peter would be I'm not sure, Hannah Ann has told me that she loves me, and Madison hasn't really told me, but I love her. But I feel at the same time, like, Madison was being realistic as she was trying to be as realistic as she possibly can, being where she was. Like, yes, she was on a show. Yes, she signed up for it. Yes, like, she had to know that Peter wasn't virgin. Like, it was literally all over. Hold on, I'm trying to have hold the phone so it doesn't fall. Yeah, she knew that Peter wasn't a virgin, and like all of that, but I feel like she was trying to be as realistic as she possibly can in the whole, like, as much as she can. It's like a reality show, so I can see the producers trying to just cause drama, and Madison like, hey, I'm really into you, I really dig you, I know at the end of this you're supposed to, oh my lord, oh, that cracked my screen, like my protector, not my actual screen. I would not just react like that. A little one. What was I saying? Dang it, what was I saying? Oh, that I just think Madison was trying to be as realistic as she possibly could, given the situation of being on a show and having to get engaged in literally like 4 months, maybe, I don't know, 3. And that's why I feel like Madison because, okay, I'm a Christian, Madison's a Christian, and I feel like I like resonate with, is resonate the right word? Resonate with Madison, or understand Madison, or like know where she's coming from with a lot of her beliefs and a lot of her reasoning and all her, like, her whys. I feel like she could have used her words a little bit better when it came to the ultimatum part, because a lot of people that are not believers, a lot of people that don't really know what we believe in, were like, why did she sign up if she knew that Peter wasn't a virgin? And I don't think she did it like, oh, I'm gonna go on The Bachelor because he's a virgin. No, I think she definitely knew that he wasn't a virgin. Obviously, it was like everywhere. But I think what she meant with that was that, well, what I think she meant with that, and what I would, if I was in her position, I would say something like, hey, if you know in your heart of hearts that you want to propose to me at the end of this, like, there's no way Peter is really in love with 2 people. I think he could definitely be infatuated with 2 people, and I feel like there has to be one person that he's like, okay, I really like 2 people or 3 people in that point, because what's her name, Victoria, was still there, like a little bit more. I feel like he would have to know. And by that I mean, like, Madison should have said, like, hey, if at the end of this, you know, like, in your heart of hearts, you know that you want to pick me, please don't have sex with anybody, because it's going to be hard for me to accept a proposal a week later. That makes sense, because in the real world, you're not going to be dating somebody and the week before he proposes, he's like, hey, I'm going to go bang 2 more girls because my last hurrah. Like, that doesn't make sense. So I feel like she should have just said, hey, I just don't want you to have sex with people. Like, I feel like I think it's okay to have a fantasy suite, but just don't have, just don't have sex with him. Like, I think that's what she should have said. Like, yeah, go into the fantasy suites, talk about whatever, like, things that you don't want to talk about on camera. Like, please do that, get to know them. But if you genuinely know by now that you want to propose to me, don't have sex with him. I think that's just what she should have said. Like, I feel like it would have been, like, because I think she said don't sleep with them, and people were just taking that out of context. Like, obviously sleep with them means don't have sex with them, but I feel like people were just taking that out of context. Like, then why did she go on knowing that he wasn't a virgin? Like, that's, and I don't think it was that. I just think it was out of respect. She was asking, like, hey, out of respect, if you know it's gonna be me, just don't do it. Like, what's the point? Which I understand. Like, I wouldn't want to go on a show and just be like, hey, like, him know, and be like, yeah, I knew at that time, but I just wanted to get my last hit it and quit it kind of thing. Like, I don't think that's right. So I don't like necessarily, I don't like disagree with her ultimatum. Like, I don't really think it was an ultimatum. I think it was just like, hey, out of respect, if this is really me, please don't do this. And sometimes, and honestly, I don't really think ultimatums are bad sometimes. Like, it depends the situation. In this case, I don't think it was a bad thing. I think that's her beliefs, and Peter did ask all the girls, like, hey, you know, share what's on your heart, and she did. So I don't think it was bad necessarily. I just think she should have said something more of like, hey, I know you're not a virgin, because that's where she got attacked. I feel like people were attacking her because they were saying like, why did she go on the show if she knew that he wasn't a virgin? I think it was more of like, hey, I know you're not a virgin, but like back then we weren't in a relationship. Now, out of respect for me, can you please not do this? Like obviously there's no control over what he did in his past, but like now in the present, like, yeah, I'm in a relationship with you, please don't do this. So I think that's where she should have said like, hey, I know you're not a virgin, but now we're in a relationship, can you not do this? And specifically said like, hey, just don't have sex with them, you can go talk to them, whatever, like get to know them, fine, like cool, please do that. Because then it'll be like he could hold that against her if he didn't even go into the suites with them. But so that's my take on the whole ultimatum thing. But I feel like that definitely ruined their relationship. I feel like that was obviously the point in where it just kind of spiraled down, because like Peter obviously had sex with somebody, he told her that, but then he also, like, when it came to introducing, like after Victoria went home, when it came to like telling, kind of like updating his family, like, hey, there's 2 girls, 1 girl, Hannah Ann, she's told me she loves me, she's sweet, blah blah blah. But then when he talked about Maddie, he kind of like not dissed her, but he kind of like talked down about her. He wasn't very like excited about her. He wasn't very like enthusiastic about her. I feel like with Hannah Ann, he's like, yeah, she's this perfect angel, like, or not angel, like this perfect girl, whatever. But then when it came to Maddie, he was definitely like, oh, I'm into Maddie, I really like Maddie, we have a connection, blah blah blah. But, and that's where I think it ruined everything, because I feel like he shouldn't even have told his mom that she hasn't said I love you to him, because I think that's where everything like messed up. Because if Peter would have been like, yeah, I'm so into Maddie, there's some things that we're struggling with or we're trying to get through, but like, yeah, I just feel this strong connection with Maddie, versus, oh yeah, she told me, she gave me an ultimatum and she hasn't even said I love you. Like, I feel like that's where Peter could have saved it. And even then, I don't think he necessarily should have told his parents like, hey, she kind of gave me an ultimatum, or she hasn't even said I love you. I feel like that's where Peter should have trusted. Hold on, there's a cop right there. I feel like, oh shoot. I feel like that's where Peter should have trusted. Hold on, let me do this, because I have to like kind of maneuver the steering wheel with my elbows and my shoulders. I think that's where Peter could have saved it, because honestly, his mom is drama, and I feel like he should know his mom, and his mom was very manipulative and very nasty in my opinion. Like, I hate to talk bad about an older woman or just like people like that, but you could see it. Anybody could see it. Like, you didn't even have to watch the show to realize that, hey, his mom was crazy. Like, ugh. So I feel like if Peter knew that's how his mom was, very resentful and very like non-forgiving, he should have known like, hey, I like both of these women, I need to protect both of these women because my mom is bonkers. Like, I feel like that's where he could have saved it. Like, if he would have just said, yeah, like, Hannah Ann is sweet and I really like her, and Madison is sweet too, Madison, there's just some reservations, but that's just something we're working on together. Like, I just don't think he should have told his parents, like, there's an ultimatum involved with Madison and she hasn't said I love you. Because at the end of the day, and at the end of that rose ceremony, his mom was like, she hasn't even said I love you. She made me wait 3 hours. She didn't say I'm sorry, which honestly, barf, like, why are you acting like a child in middle school? There's a bus. I'm gonna be stuck behind the bus. Let me switch lanes before I just can't switch in the middle of the thing. Dang it. So yeah, so I feel like that's where Peter could have kind of saved Maddie a little bit. But also, Peter's mom, what the heck? Did she forget that she already met Maddie, like, at the beginning of the season? And I don't remember exactly what she said, but if we, like, watch it back, she said something about, like, oh, I really like you, or you're really sweet. Like, something about, like, I really like you. Like, something along those lines. So, I was like, what the heck, Barb? Like, you're just gonna act like you've never met Maddie, and she's made me wait, like, 3 hours. I roll back to her eye roll because honestly, like, she just looked like she almost she did embarrass herself by the way she was acting, because she's a mom. Like, okay, I get what she was saying, like, I just want the best for Peter. I want Peter to be happy, and I personally think Hannah Ann was the best choice, whatever, their lives are not compatible. Okay, that's such a mom thing to say. Perfect. But I feel like where I have the problem is the way she said it. The way she acted. Because, yeah, of course, I'm not a mom, but there's things my mom tells me too, and things I've heard other moms say. Of course, every mom wants the best for their son. But I tell Isaac this, and it's like something we say all the time to each other. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. So I feel like the way she was just saying things and the way she was acting, I was like, ugh, like, I'm not listening to you anymore because you're annoying and you're, like, acting like a middle schooler. Like, what the heck? So, and, like, I feel like that is going, if Madison and Peter choose to move forward in their relationship, that is going to be such a dapper on the relationship, because honestly, every person wants their significant other to get along with their family. Like, duh, we all want that, unless a person doesn't get along with this family prior to the relationship. But everybody wants that, and I feel like Barb would be the reason why they don't work, or they don't want to try. Like, I feel like Barb's plan is like, okay, he didn't work with Hannah Ann, how can I ruin this relationship, or how can I prevent this relationship from happening? Because I don't even know why she doesn't like Madison. The only thing I can think of is, okay, in my opinion, Barb is very manipulative. She is very controlling. She definitely wants to have an opinion in Peter's life. And I feel like with Madison, she sees like, oh, esta no se va a dejar. Like, this girl is gonna put a no if I recommend something. No, that's not what we're doing. Hold on. I feel like Barb can definitely see that Madison no se va a dejar. Like, Madison will stand up for herself. Madison will say, I don't think so. We're gonna talk about it. That's a no. That's not happening in our relationship. Like, I feel like Madison will definitely put a lot of no's into her ideas and her manipulation and trying to control the relationship. And I feel like Barb can see that Madison no se va a dejar. She clearly no se dejó the first day that she met him, when she cut her off. First of all, when she said, Madison, you're religious, like, I was like, like, I was not okay with that, because, and then she brought up the whole I pray to God, like, okay, I'm gonna stop. But I just feel like she was very manipulative, very controlling, and I feel like the reason she doesn't like Madison is because she knows that Madison isn't gonna put up with it. Which, props to Madison, because she handled every single situation like a boss. Like, she knew exactly like what to say, how to say it without like snapping, because honestly, that would be so hard. But she had such grace and self-control, and I know that probably hurt her, you guys. Like, that would hurt me so much if I'm trying to like win over somebody's family and they said, I don't like you because blah blah blah. Like, that would hurt so much. But she had such grace when she was doing it. She had the perfect like I mean, maybe that's being biased because I was Team Maddie, but honestly, put everything aside, the way she handled it, it was good. Like, just the way she handled it, I'm like thinking ahead. Because if you would have put, let's say, Tammy on that situation, I feel like Tammy would have snapped, and she would have like barked back, like ugly barked. But Maddie just handled it with such grace, with such like, I'm not gonna let you get under my skin, like, devil, get under my feet. Like, legit, I feel like that's how Maddie handled it. But I just think like BARB, just the way she handled it, the way she, like, her facial expressions were just not the best. And then plus, did you guys catch what she said in Spanish? Like, she said, Pedro. What did she say? She said Pedro, first of all, to Peter's dad. She said, Pedro, di algo mal, también ayúdame. Or something like, say something bad. She said in Spanish, she said, Pedro, di algo mal, ayúdame. But she said, di algo mal, which translates, if you guys don't speak Spanish, it translates to say something bad. Like, who does that? Like, oh my God, that is so childish to me, you guys. And when that happened, at that point, okay, Isaac, I kind of watched the season by myself because Isaac's not really into The Bachelor and whatever. Like, he didn't watch it since the beginning with me. But at that point, I was so not heated, but I was so like, my adrenaline was running, and like, I was just like, oh my God, what is she doing? Because they had the little square on her face pretty much the whole show, so you could see her, like, tenía cara de fuchi the whole time since the beginning. So I already knew, like, okay, he's gonna propose to Hannah Ann since the beginning. He's gonna propose to Hannah Ann, and they're gonna break up, because clearly it was like 8:05 and they were already like breaking up or something. Like, it was really early on into the episode, or to the showing or whatever. So I was like, okay, they're definitely not gonna last. So that's why tiene su cara de fuchi. But I was like, oh my God. So I called Isaac and I said, you need to come watch this with me because I need to vent. I need to talk to somebody. And I literally, poor Isaac, I'm like, you talk to me about random stuff and I try to make a conversation. Can you please come watch this with me and talk to me about it, because I'm freaking out and I need to talk to somebody about it. And so I kind of caught him up about like the whole situation and the ultimatum and like his mom and the, like, bring her home, like whatever. And by the end of the show, Isaac was like, yeah, she's toxic. He was like totally into it. But when the whole Spanish thing, when she said that thing in Spanish, we heard, like, we were watching, like, we were like on the TV, right? Hold on, I'm about to turn it, this is gonna fall. We were watching, and then, like, out of nowhere, like, because they asked her something, right? And then Chris Harrison goes, he goes, Peter, what do you think about this whole situation, like the dad? And then BARB, like, straight up, I don't remember, does she turn to him or does she just like whisper? I don't know. But the point is that she said, Pedro, di algo mal, ayúdame. Like, she said something, I think she said ayúdame, or no, when we heard ayúdame, that's when we're like, wait, what language was that? And we're like, that is not English, that's Spanish. We understood. Rewind. And we rewind it like 3 times trying to figure out what she said, and then finally we're like, okay, this is what I hear. And we went on Twitter, and they're like, that's when we saw people were saying like, yeah, she said, Pedro, di algo mal, ayúdame.
Dad, what's your take on this?
Pero di algo mal también, ayúdame.
And we're like, oh my God, we can't believe that this older lady is acting bonkers like this. Like, why is she doing that? Like, I just felt like she wasn't really giving Madison a shot or a second chance, clearly, because, okay, let's say, okay, I'm like thinking so fast now. Okay, I'm gonna say this real quick. Clearly, we only see like an hour, 2 hours every Monday. We only see a little snippet. So I'm sure the relationship, everybody's relationship with Peter and their conversations with their families, like, I'm pretty sure it's so much more than what we actually see. So I do want to like consider that. Like, that's the same thing with Hannah Ann. Maybe their relationship was much deeper than what we actually saw, because obviously we can only see so much. But I feel like when they were in Australia, in their real time back then, if BARB, Peter's mom, would have just been like, hey, you told me that she hasn't said I love you. You told me that she hasn't given you an ultimatum. I want to genuinely give her a chance. But she didn't. Like, sorry, Isaac called me. So, what was I saying? That if BARB would have genuinely said, hey, you just told me that she hasn't said I love you. It's literally this is almost over. She gave you an ultimatum, but I want to genuinely give you my thoughts and my opinion. Like, if she would have just put her ego down and her mama bear protectiveness, like, that's so nasty, like, it's gross, down, and just been like, hey, I want the best for you. I'm gonna give this girl a fair shot, and if after I feel like it's not a good thing, then I will like tell you, which she did. But she was very nasty about it. Like, first of all, I already said like a lot of first of alls, didn't I? I think Maddie and Peter should have said hey to the producers, which they might have. Hold on. I'm a mess. They might have said this to the producers, but we wouldn't know, and we didn't see it. But I feel like they should have said, hey, we're having a discussion right now. We're not in the best of moods. I don't really want to meet your family. Like, because honestly, when I'm in a bad mood, I don't really want to see anybody. Like, not even my own family, because I feel like you just, attitudes kind of like peek through. Like, your face isn't as excited. Like, it's just with anybody. I'm not just saying Maddie, I'm saying anybody. So I feel like, okay, I'm gonna go back here for a second, because I don't want to, I want to finish my rant before I go inside the house. I'm already home. Like, I feel like they should have said that, like, hey, can we do this tomorrow, or can we do it later on? Like, do we have to do it right now? I want to be in a better mood when I talk to them for the first time. According to BARB. Here's Isaac. So I feel like they might have asked. Producers probably said, like, no, that's not going to happen. Oh, he didn't see me. So I feel like that was another kind of dapper on the whole meeting, because you could tell Peter wasn't as excited like he was with Hannah. He was literally eating Hannah's shoulder, first of all, when Hannah met them. And Maddie wasn't herself either. So, but I just feel like it's not because Maddie was being like annoying or she was being whatever. They literally just had a discussion, and they literally were like, what am I doing? Like, that's a fair, honestly, like, reason to just kind of be like, I'm not myself right now. Like, ugh. So, I just think like there was a lot of factors that could have been changed, that could have changed the outcome of how BARB started treating Madison, because honestly, like, I'm not gonna stop saying it, and it's kind of annoying the way she was making her faces. Literally, Madison can say hi and she was rolling her eyes. Like, who does that? So I I just felt like this whole thing was a mess. And honestly, like, back to Peter and Madison, regardless of BARB's crazy nuts, I really like Peter and Madison. I think they're really cute together. But they were on a show. Everything was produced. There was cute dates. There was cute blah, blah, blah. So I would like them to have a genuine chance in the real world without the engagement. Because as a believer and as a Christian like Maddie was, I would hope... Isaac called me again. Sorry. I would hope Maddie only gets engaged one time. And if that's Peter, cool. I hope it literally lasts forever. If it's not Peter... What the heck? Did he get a new car? If it's not Peter, like, cool. Just go your own way. But I just feel like BARB is definitely going to be a reason why... Well, I think it would be a reason why it wouldn't work. Hi, Goosey.
Hi.
I'm doing my carpool chit chat.
Oh, that's why you parked over here?
Yeah. Do you want to say something about last night? I told them that you didn't really watch the whole thing. And kind of like...
Well, from what I saw, the mom is toxic. And she's very manipulative. And
That's what I said. Should Maddie run or should Maddie
I don't
stick?
Honestly, like, I know you don't marry the family. Or
You do marry
you
the
actually...
family.
I know you're marrying the guy. But the family comes along with it. And it looks
Yeah.
like Peter... Is that his name?
Yeah.
That he's like really involved with his family a lot, so I don't know. She knows what's best for her.
Yeah.
She's gonna think about it really hard.
Yeah. And I think like don't you oh
You
this is
take
what
notes?
I think. Yeah, I made notes, guys, look, because I wanted to like talk about all these points, but I didn't even look at them. I think if they do try, I feel like his mom would be a big reason why they don't work out. Because
Unfortunately.
yeah, sadly, because everybody wants their spouse or boyfriend, girlfriend to get along with their family, and you could tell Peter is very involved with them. He was living with them. He's already like almost 30. He was still living with
That
them.
was 25.
No, she's 25,
Oh.
I think, or 24. So I think like,
I'll
are
let
you
her
leaving
continue.
now? Are you leaving? Okay, bye. I'm at 2 minutes. I wasn't recording, but I started again. So yeah, I think like personally, I don't want Maddie and Peter to move on and just be like, we did everything, or like say, like move on and say, oh, we didn't even try. So I do kind of want them to try and just be like honest and be like, hey, we definitely tried this. But at the same time, like, Maddie just seems like such a good girl, and this is just me and my beliefs, because if you guys followed me on Instagram, I did put like, what do you think? And there was a couple people, like 2 or 3, that said Maddie is fake and BARB is right, which I don't agree with them, but everybody each their own opinion. That's fine. I'm not saying like anything. I'm just saying, in my personal opinion, I don't think Maddie's in the wrong. I do think just the way BARB handled everything was bad. That's what I have a problem with, because I feel like if she would have said, like, even when she said he needs to fail to succeed, like, who says that to their kids, especially on like national television? Don't you think like, hey, Peter, I don't really think you guys are compatible for each other, and I want you guys to be happy, but I personally don't think it's gonna work out. That's fine to say, but say it in like a loving manner, in a gentle manner, because and like in like private, not in like national TV. Like, now she looks very bad, and I know that now she kind of has a rep of like this crazy woman. But I just feel like, I don't know, I almost kind of want Maddie to just leave, and girl, Jesus will provide the perfect man with not crazy parents. Like, I don't know. I just feel like as a believer, I kind of want more for Maddie, but as a Bachelor like nation, I want them to like end up together. But at the same time, Peter, I feel like Peter loves Maddie, and I feel like Peter loves Maddie more than Maddie loves Peter. But I think it's not in a bad way. I think Maddie's just being more realistic about it. Like, I think Maddie's like, yeah, he's not a Christian, he's not a believer, it's not a lifestyle to him. And for Maddie and for like us, it is a lifestyle, and it is hard to be with someone whose life is different like that. But I feel like Peter loves Maddie so much more, where he will give up his sexing, his clubs, his whatever. Like, and also I want to note, Christians aren't boring, okay? People were making it seem like Christians and people that are saving themselves, or props to Maddie, who's actually like stayed true to herself the whole season and held that very close to her heart. Props to her, because like that's really hard, especially on national TV. Like, I can see how people could be like, I'm gonna kind of bend my beliefs a little bit to look good. But so props to her. And I forgot what I was saying about that. Oh, but I feel like Peter loves Maddie so much that he would give that up to be with Maddie. And honestly, like, if that's the case, I pray Peter gives his life to Jesus and he's a changed man. Like, that would be such like the perfect ending. But at the same time, I wouldn't want Maddie to be like if he's not willing to give certain things up, then I don't think she should waste her time, essentially, because it's heartache, it's time, it's healing. Like, it's just a lot, especially if his mom is like gonna be like that forever. Like, it's just I almost kind of want Maddie to be by herself. But yeah, you guys, I actually made a lot of notes for like every person, and I didn't read them. Let's see if I kind of touched on everything. I think the timing is what threw Maddie off. Like, I feel like it was just so fast, and she was thinking more realistic versus at the end of this 2 months, I'm gonna get engaged. Like, I just feel like she was like, oh my god, can I really get to know this guy in 2 months? Can I really fall in love with, like, are we really compatible? And like, am I gonna know enough in 2 months? Like, I feel like that's what Maddie was talking about. Oh, I have this on here. I feel like Peter's parents need to back off and cut the cord with him, because yeah, we want the best for you, like, but sometimes you need to let them learn. And if they really think like Maddie's not the right person, sorry, I'm just like thinking out loud. His mom said that Hannah's an angel sent from above. Don't you think that Maddie would be the angel? I don't know, just my thoughts. But I feel like they need to step back, cut the cord. Peter needs to move out. And I feel like Peter telling them like, hey, I love Maddie and you need to back off, is that, or I love her and that should be enough. What did he say? Something like that towards the end when he was like talking to them. He said, I love Maddie and that should be enough, or something like that. I'll see if I can put it here.
I am telling you that I love Madison and that should be enough. Please.
But I feel like they should take that and be like, okay, we said what we said. If Peter gets hurt, we're gonna be there for him. If it doesn't work out, we're gonna be there for him. Like, instead of like, ugh, like, you know what I mean? So I feel like Peter could have defended her a little bit more, but I feel like what he said was good enough for the nation to realize, like, okay, he's gonna have to really defend her, especially with his mom. And I feel like that's where Peter kind of needs to figure out, like, hey, is she the one? Is like this gonna work? Because it's a mom and the daughter. And I feel like BARB is very controlling, like I said, very manipulative. And I feel like the reason she's like that is because she doesn't want her son to leave her, or her son to move out. And like, a mom is never gonna get replaced. Like, and I feel like she's scared that him getting married and him finding someone and him and I don't want to say Christian, or someone that has a different lifestyle than him and them, is gonna take him away from them. Like, I feel like that's what she's scared of. So I feel like she's trying to control it as much as she can, because she doesn't want him to change him, like she said. But I think it's just that she's scared that if he changes his lifestyle for Maddie, he won't be involved with them. Which, if he does, thank God. If he gives his life to God, to Jesus, thank God. But that doesn't mean that he's just not going to come around. Like, I think that's where Peter and Maddie would have to discuss, like, okay, yeah, on blah, 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 these are, on Sundays we go to church, blah, 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 but we can go to your family. Like, it's just compromise, guys. And then, Peter, back to the proposal. I didn't even talk about the proposal. Whoops. I think the proposal was wrong. I feel like if Peter knew he still loved Maddie, like, one, why did he even bring up Maddie in the proposal? Like, he should have sat Hannah down and said, hey, Maddie chose to leave. I didn't send her home. Maddie chose to leave. And this is how I feel. This is what's going on. But Maddie left. And then he sat down with her and said, my heart's being pulled in two separate directions. I can see how Hannah Ann would be like, oh, she's still here. That should have been the part where he said, hey, Maddie chose to left. She left. I didn't send her home. She left. And should have been honest with her. And then instead of proposing to her and then telling her, like, I don't know. Props to Hannah, though, because she handled the end, or like the finale, very well. I feel like she spoke very, like, she knew what she was saying. You could tell she was hurt. She wasn't really gonna put up with it, and I applaud her for that, because nobody ever wants to feel like second place, and I feel like she did a great job. I feel like that's the most I've actually heard Hannah talk, or the, like, realest or deepest thing she said all season. But I mean, yeah, it sucks that he took that first proposal away from her, or what should only be the only proposal away from her. But so yeah, I don't agree that Peter did a good job there, because that's not fair. That's selfish, I think. But let's see, Hannah Ann, yeah. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I know this is really long, and I'm probably gonna have to cut out a lot of this, but thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know down below what you guys thought about the finale, because I can see how people who don't believe what we believe are not gonna understand Maddie. And I feel like a lot of what happened with Maddie was just people just not understanding the lifestyle. Also, I do feel bad. I ultimately feel bad for all of them except BARB, because BARB was just being ridiculous. Peter, because poor guy, like, he loved Maddie and she left. But he didn't have to go do what he did. Hannah, because honestly, that's kind of sad. It's kind of embarrassing, and he took that from her. Like, what's supposed to be my only engagement, you took it, and now, like, it's over. And Maddie, like, that's so embarrassing, like, for a mom to be, like, acting like that towards her, and people just probably not understanding her. But yeah, I feel bad for all of them except BARB, because she's crazy. Also, all I could think about, the whole, like, the way she was acting, I don't know if, let me know down below if you've seen the movie Monster-in-Law. That's all I could think of with Rhonda. What's her name? Oh, I forgot her name. But yeah, that's all I could think about. Just a crazy mother-in-law that's, like, overprotective and overbearing and just needs to cut the cord. But yeah, so let me know what you guys thought down below. I know this was a long one, but sorry. I was very, very, like, passionate about this whole situation. But yeah, I hope they all find love. Hannah Ann eventually find love, whenever she's ready. Either Peter and Madison together or alone. Or not alone, separately. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next Carpool Chat. Bye!